Okay, it's Luxury Fred, and this is the 2019 Chevy Suburban LT. So I spent a long weekend in this, the monstrous Chevrolet Suburban LT. So this is the mid-range version of the Suburban. There are three basic trim levels. There's the LS, which is the base level, which is about $50,000, about $51,000. This is the medium level, which is called the LT. And then there's the Premier. And this LT, if I may cheat a little bit, starts at $56,895. And the main differences between the LT and the LS are the LT gives you leather seating surfaces, or I think they say leather appointed seating surfaces. The LT gives you the fancy Bose infotainment system. The LT gives you the power lift gate, which I'll show you in a minute. And the LT gives you lane keep assist and lane departure warning. So before I continue, I always like to say at the beginning of my reviews, if you like cars and luxury travel and things like that, hey, subscribe to my channel, please. And if you already have, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Got a lot of exciting stuff coming for you guys. So let me give you a little driving impression of the big Suburban. It is extremely comfortable to drive. They have finally taken this to a level where I feel it kind of equals Cadillac. You know, it has the same feel as an Escalade. So you can see you have a big V8 engine that has almost 400 horsepower, which really makes this thing move when you get on it. But the engine is extremely fuel efficient, and with careful driving on the freeway, it will give you 22 miles per gallon, which to me is quite amazing. So I think before I continue on, let me give you a quick walk around of the outside of the Suburban. I like some of the new trim stuff on this. I like the, you know, kind of the fancy headlight and things like that. I like the simplicity of the grille and the combination of the chrome and the, you know, kind of a black honeycomb there. So overall, you can see you've got one big SUV. Those big doors too. Again, this is the LT model. And very nice overall look to this. Okay, so you saw the outside. Now let me give you a tour of the inside. Okay, so we'll start up here up front in the driver's seat. We have a very down to business gauges here with your tachometer on the left, speedometer on the right, your amps, your temperature, your oil pressure, and your fuel. That's it. Very simple. Over here you have your seat controls. Again, this is the LT model, so you get leather appointed seating surfaces. You have your window controls here. Interesting, you have a rear window lock, but you also have a rear door lock. So if you put that on, the rear doors are locked and the people in the back can't get out. So here we have our here we have our cruise control functions. Here we have our kind of infotainment and other setting things. In this old school display, you do have a digital display here, which tells you what's playing on the radio. It gives you alerts. It gives you GPS alerts and things like that. Over here you have your parking sensors and your traction control off. Your lights over here. Steering wheel is adjustable, and you have, again, this is the LT, so you have your nice wood trim here. Lots of storage space and storage space here. Here in your center console you have your heated seat controls. You can either heat the front, you can either heat the seat back and the bottom, or just the back. Climate control here. This is your rear climate control, regular climate control, infotainment settings, and then because this is the LT, we do have a touchscreen display with various functions. As you can see, or that's the menu for the music stuff. And you have very nice leather, as I was saying, leather seating surfaces. And this has a very good stereo. When you get the LT, it gives you the Bose upgraded audio system. You have an old school power adapter here. You have USB power there. You have your cup holders there. I think this is wireless charging, if I'm not mistaken. And then you have a very big center console here. You have a space for your phone, you have more USB, and you have another old school outlet there. Up here you have your controls for how much the automatic tailgate opens, your lighting, and then I believe this you can use for your garage door opener at home. You have, which a lot of these large SUVs have, this has a mirror so you can see what the people in the SUV are doing, and then you have a sunglass holder case there. So that's the front. Let me move on to the back seat. Let me talk about the engine and stuff like that while I'm up here. So this is the, let me put the camera on me, okay? So for 2019, the Suburban LT has the 5.3 liter EcoTech 3 V8 engine. And it's very impressive because that V8 engine in this enormous SUV, because of the technology and things like that, you get 22 miles per gallon on the freeway. You also have cylinder deactivation, so when you don't need all 8 cylinders, the engine shuts down 4 of them and basically runs this on a 4-cylinder. So I think it's the city, it's 22 highway, and I think it's 15 or 16 in the city. It's funny. It's funny, as I just had the Lexus GX 460, which has their V8 engine. I think it's a 4.6 liter V8. And I took it on a road trip and I only averaged about 16 miles per gallon, which was really disappointing. So the Chevy engine, the EcoTech, all the EcoTech engines have great fuel economy technology to really get the maximum fuel economy out of a big engine. That engine gives you 355 horsepower. It has a towing capacity of 8,300 pounds, and the power is channeled to the road with a 10-speed automatic transmission. I found the transmission very responsive and doesn't, you know, hunt for gears or anything like that. Always feels like it's in the right gear. When you floor it, it's great for downshifting and really is very responsive and quick. They do have some special edition Suburbans, which I'm hoping to get my hands on one of these days. There's a sport version called the RST, which is like an SS, you know, high performance version. And then there's a Premier Plus. Remember I told you before there's an LS, an LT, and a Premier. There's actually a Premier Plus, which has every option, and you know, it's more like a Yukon Denali getting into the Cadillac Escalade area. Both the RST and the Premier Plus, you can get a 6.2 liter V8 engine, a bigger V8 engine in those vehicles. And as I said before, the base model of the Suburban starts at $50,600. This LT starts at $56,895. So that's all the details there. Let me show you the rest of the Suburban. Okay, so we have our big dog, Hans. Say hi, Hans. Hi, Hans. So this particular car, you get, I mean, this particular Suburban has the bench seats. You can also get captain's chairs. So as you can see, if we put this up, you have bench seats, and the problem with that is it gives you more carrying capacity. You know, you can have 3, 6, 8 people or 9 people in this. But the problem is that you don't have access to the third row of seats without putting down the second row. So you do it like that, and it flips up, and the people can get in. Now, if you get the captain's chairs, you have kind of an aisle in the middle. And the good thing about that is that the people can get in and out of the third row of seats without the people in the second row of seats having to get up. And that's a big deal. You know, only these big Suburban, Tahoe, Escalade, only those SUVs have that size where you can access the third row without moving the second row of seats. So as you can see, the second row is kind of a 60-40 split, and those two seats also do the same thing as this, where they fold up and fold over so that you can have access to the third row of seats back here, which is very nice. And you can see, so yeah, so we have space here in the third row and space here in the second row, and then you have a little armrest here for the second row. And we have little Chevrolet badging there. You have very nice, again, fit and finish with a little bit of wood trim here on the inside. So let me show you the rear end. So as I said before, because this is the LT version, you do get a power operated lift gate. And then the big deal about the Suburban and some of these larger SUVs is that you have this very large seating area. You have a very large storage space behind the third row of seats. So even if all 3 rows are filled with people, you still have this very large space for luggage and things like that. There are some of these, I'm not sure if it's the Tahoe, I'm not sure if every Suburban has this space behind the third row of seats. You can get a Cadillac that is shorter, an Escalade that's shorter, and you can get a Yukon Denali that's shorter, and that ends here. So you have the 3 rows of seats, but in those SUVs, you don't have this storage space. So if you have people in all 3 rows of seats, you don't have any room for luggage in those SUVs, which always surprises me. So again, with this, you have the very large tailgate here in the back. Okay, so that concludes the tour of the inside and the outside of the 2019 Chevy Suburban LT. Let me talk a little bit about the driving experience. This is a big SUV, really, really big. It feels good to drive. My fiance, who's not used to driving a big SUV, had no problems with it. Parking is a little difficult just because of the size. You really have to rely on your mirrors, your rear view camera, and the sensors that you have to tell you where you are, because it is big. You have to be careful when you're turning right on curbs and things like that, just to make sure you're not hitting anything. So it takes a little extra thinking. Overall, the ride is incredibly smooth. Took this on a road trip from Palm Springs all the way to San Diego and back, and just a pleasure on the freeway, cruising at near triple-digit speeds, just really quiet, really smooth. And then a lot of the drive was on mountain roads, and you know, it's not a sports car, you can't throw it around, but it's very comfortable, and you know, it doesn't have too much body roll. It feels good when you're driving it, even on, you know, curvy mountain roads. I took the 74 from Palm Desert, you know, going out to San Diego, which is 50 miles of curvy mountain roads, which was incredible. And, you know, not a problem, you just can't go really fast. But again, on the freeway, long distances, it's amazing. Gas mileage was good. We made it all the way down to San Diego and back and didn't even use a full tank of gas. Again, 22 miles per gallon on the freeway. So I think that concludes my review. Thank you very much for watching. As I said before, if you like what you see, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. You can read my full written review of the Suburban at businesstravelerusa.com. That's where I do all my car reviews. You can see some more pictures and stuff from my getaway at luxuryfred.com. And then, of course, you can follow me on social media at luxuryfred. And on Instagram, I have a new auto Instagram, which is at Drive with Fred. And that's where I post all my car stuff. I also have at luxuryfred as my luxury travel Instagram account. So thank you very much for watching.